You might have heard the saying that a goal without a plan is just a wish. Well, if you try to set goals in the past to lose weight and you are not successful, we have someone with us today that is going to walk you through how she does it and how you can do it too. Hello, and welcome to Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. Please subscribe to this podcast, and I'll make sure that you get updated on my most recent episode. So joining me now is Nicole Simonin. She is a health coach, podcaster, and she's been helping women lose weight for more than 20 years. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you, Robin. It's so nice to be back.
Yes, you've done this before with me. We actually met virtually. We knew each other virtually before we met in person. And fortunately, this fall, we had a chance to actually meet each other in person, take a walk on the Ocean City Boardwalk, which was great and so much fun. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
And
me
just give
too.
everyone a little brief overview of your background.
Absolutely. So, like you said, I've been doing this for over 20 years, which is kind of horrifying and shocking at the same time as I'm getting older. But yeah, I'm a personal trainer. I'm a health coach. I have a medical degree in physical therapy. I also am the author of a cookbook, podcast hoster, and I'm also a TEDx speaker. And number 2 TEDx is coming up October 22. Fingers crossed, as long as everything goes well.
Well, that's great. And you're also a mom and you're very busy. So you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So your podcast is Shape It Up with Nicole, and you've been you've been helping women over 40 lose weight for the last time. That's sort of your tagline. And
Yeah.
you've got 3 tips on how to set goals and actually achieve them. So what are they?
Yeah. And my approach to goal setting is not like your standard SMART goals or anything like that. And if you know anything about me, and I talk about this a lot on the Shape It Up Over 40 podcast, is, you have fitness and you have nutrition and then you have mindset. And mindset, I really feel, is the basis for all this. So for your goal setting tips, if you are looking long term for your weight loss, which again, that's what I help women do, is not just lose it, but keep it off for the rest of your life. You don't have to set a date, right? Because if you're starting today and your plan is, say you're 40 and you plan on living to be 90, you've got 50 some years to work on this, right? I have to have a side note. Today is my grandmom's 100th birthday.
That's tremendous. That is
Yeah.
really amazing. Well,
So
good. You have good genes then. So good for
yeah,
you.
my grandfather on my dad's side was 100 and almost 103 before he passed away.
Oh my goodness. That
Yeah.
is
So
something.
I plan on living for a long time. And I want those years to be quality. So let's say, like, if your goal is 40 pounds, what I want you guys to do is just focus on 1 pound at a time, and you don't have to set a date. So like, a lot of people are like, January 1st, I'm starting, probably more January 2nd, I'm starting. And then by May 30th, I want to be at, say, 40 pounds down. But if you were to look at it like, yes, I have 40 pounds to lose, but I'm just going to focus on 1 pound at a time. Because what happens is your brain kind of shifts a little bit into the sense of, like, you could lose 1 pound in a week. You could lose 1 pound in 2 weeks. You could lose 1 pound in 1 month. It doesn't matter, because you're looking at it long term. So when you hit that 1 pound loss, then you just look for the next pound, because eventually you lose those 40 pounds, 1 pound at a time. So there's something
Absolutely. And you didn't gain
freeing.
the 40 pounds in 2 months. So you're probably not going to lose them in 2 months.
Exactly. The second part too is that the goal is really arbitrary, and chances are you're not going to hit that goal. And I forget what the stats are for goal setting and actually achieving it, but it's pretty darn low, especially when it comes for weight loss. And I know that might sound depressing and just
Yeah,
like,
it
well,
kind
I'm
of
not
is,
even
because
going to
this is
bother.
supposed to be how to do it, not how not to do it. We know how
Right.
not to do it.
Right. But if you are in like dieter's mentality, and I talk about this a lot too, it's the mentality of like, you have to pick a diet and you have to sacrifice, you have to resist, and you have to do all these things. One of the part of the dieter's mentality is that they tend to want to lose weight super, super fast, like 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And what I want to suggest is not hitting the goal is okay, because what happens is when you don't hit that goal, we have this whole layer of shame, judgment on us. Like, why didn't I hit that goal? Why didn't I lose weight? I suck. This diet didn't work, so I must try another diet, right? And you will spin into all this drama.
Oh,
Or I
yeah,
just can't
yeah, I
lose
think
weight.
everyone can relate to that feeling, right?
Right, right. So not hitting the goal is more about learning what you make it mean when you don't hit that goal. So if you don't hit that goal, what is the self-talk that you're saying to yourself? What are all the things? And that's where the growth comes in. So if you don't hit your goals, that's a beautiful thing because you're learning about yourself and how to not do it or how to do it better. So that is the second tip. And then the
Okay, but
third,
all right, I'm just
okay.
gonna ask you though,
Mhm.
the goal is to hit your goals, not to not hit your goals, but you're saying if that does happen, you wanna learn to deal with it better.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
what we all need to do.
right.
Okay.
Because when we set goals, I mean, it again, we could dive into this on a whole nother episode, but like
Yeah.
for me, it's like, some people like to set huge, big goals and they go for it. I am one of those people. And then there's the other person who's like, no, I'm just gonna set an achievable goal. And that's fine too. And I flip back and forth between the two a lot of times just for my own mental capacity and sanity. But you get to, you get to decide how you want to structure your goal. But I think a lot of times when people think achievable goals, sometimes it's not as exciting to them and it doesn't motivate them as much. And then if you don't hit it, you're like, well, I really must not be doing good because I didn't hit my achievable goal. So it's learning the lessons in when you don't hit that goal, and don't be
Yes.
too hard on yourself if you do miss it. This is why people come to me, because a lot of people do miss the goals, and you need an expert to kind of guide you and help you. And I think that's
Yes.
in any facet of what
Well,
you're
that's true.
attempting to
It is
do.
it is it's always helpful to have support and to have somebody kind of cheerleading you on, especially when you're trying to lose weight, which is such a battle for so many people, especially in our country where fast food and processed food has just become almost a way of life and supersize this and that. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of where we are right now. And especially when so many people have been home a lot more over the
Mhm.
pandemic, still going on, sadly, but I think people kind of, stress eating was a big part of that. And they call it the COVID, 19 or what do they call it? The
Yeah.
quarantine 15. So, and we're still carrying some of that around. So that's a big part of it as well, just having somebody there behind you. So what is the third tip?
Yeah. Before I get a third, if I could tap into what you just said in the sense of like, so when COVID hit, like if you have your mindset in the right frame, it doesn't matter what's going to come at you. Whether it's COVID, I actually just I was just talking to a client of mine and she was talking about how in COVID, she did lose weight because she wasn't going out to eat as much. And I'm like, of course, you were kind of forced to not eat out. So by taking that out, you lost some weight. But then she gained it back as soon as everything opened up because she went out and ate. But when you have the right mindset, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. It doesn't matter if there's a death in the family and all of a sudden you can't work out anymore, or all these life changes that are happening, a divorce or something, or a birth of a happy times too, a birth of a grandbaby, those kind of things. But when you have the mindset in your just like honed in, it's so much easier to maintain your weight in whatever situation that you're in, whether it's COVID or whatever. So the third tip is women always focus on weight loss. And even though my tagline says lose weight for the last time, I do not like to have to use weight loss, but that's what you guys are looking for. I would much prefer you to focus on body fat and how you feel and everything, because the bottom line is your goal is never about the weight. It's never about the inches. It's about who you're becoming. So whenever you set a goal, you're looking for a feeling. It's not that you want to be 120 pounds. It's not that you want to be 140 pounds or whatever that number you have in your brain is. It's really, how do you think you're going to feel in that dream body, in that whatever you have imagined, those circumstances. I know most clients that come to me, they are seeking freedom around food, like feeling comfortable around food, not fearing that they eat a piece of bread and they're going to blow up, and gain 10 pounds.
Yeah. And the guilt that comes with that as
And the
well.
guilt. Yeah. And freedom and living in the body that you want to live in. And feeling strong and in control, and kind of like we touched on in the beginning of this, is like, if you're going to live until 90 or more, I don't know about you, and I know I touched on this in the other episode you did with me, is like, I want to be able to open my jars of spaghetti when I'm 90. I want to be independent. I want to be, my daily activity that I normally do. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to get in and out of a bathtub without
Yes.
assistance, and that all comes from right now and taking care of your body. But we never really, there's many people that could get to like 120 and they're not happy. So it's not about the number on the scale. It's really about who you're becoming and who that person is that you want to be at that weight. For instance, if you were to like, I want to go to Hawaii, right? If you think of Hawaii in that sense, you don't actually want to go to the land of Hawaii. You want to go to Hawaii so you can bask in the sun, feel the ocean waves, crashing, or whatever. You're just watching the sunsets. Like, you get something out of that. There's something
it's
that
the
you
benefit
feel.
of it. It's not actually the thing.
The thing.
So that's
right.
kind of how you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like most women have a hard time letting go of that scale number. One of the things, I'm actually working with a client, her scale number is not really changing that much, but her inches are going down significantly. And she's like, but the scale. And I'm like, no, what is the end goal
Can
that
you zip your
want?
jeans? Do you feel better? Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's really about, again, it's like, it's the whole mindset of like, who is the person you want to be? Because the person you are right now, if you're overweight, that's one version of you. You need to become a different person to achieve that goal.
Yes.
And that's really where the bottom line is.
I guess, do you talk to your clients about envisioning yourself at that
Mhm.
weight and what it would feel like at
Yes.
that goal weight or whatever they're trying to reach? Does that help to motivate people when you think in terms of, I'm already there and I'm already feeling this?
Yes. Yeah. You have to get to the point of, and there's a fine line, because a lot of people are like, well, they feel like they're fake. And I don't want to say fake it till you make it, because that's not it either. But there's something about the dream, the goal, and this could be applied for anything, not just weight loss, but like what you want to feel in that new you get to feel that right now in the body that you have. And that's where it starts.
Mhm.
Because if you are in this body that you hate, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You may dip your toe in there and hang out there for a day or a week or so, but you will always rebound again.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. But do you try to break it down into steps, or do you just basically say, get your mindset right and the rest will follow? Or do you give people specific things to do?
Yeah, that's the umbrella. So when I work with clients, especially my VIP program, we do coaching like this on a Zoom call, where I am specifically going through, we do have steps, but it's like everybody's different. Everybody is like an onion. We all have different layers and different peels and different things that we're kind of uncovering and diving into. So for me to come on here, I could give you like a general thing, but that may work for some people and it may not work for some people. With my podcast, I give a lot of valuable information on how to do this. So yes, you can go there and you can be successful. But what I always like to offer is if you're diving into that and you are still like playing the same, broken record over and over again, like you're losing and gaining, you need help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no shame
on that
in that.
note, no, not at all. Not at all. Where can people, reach you on Facebook? How can they reach out to you if they're interested in working with you one-on-one? How do you get to you?
The main spot to get me is Shape It Up. Oh, I almost forgot my website name, shapeitupfitness.com. You can go there. I am mainly on Facebook. I have a private Facebook group, Women Lose Weight Over 40 and Ditch Diets, that you can come in and
I
get
am
more.
in that. I am in that.
Yep. You can
Yes.
hang out with Robin and I, and then the
And I
podcast
listen
is
to a lot of
Shift.
your live Facebooks, which you do, which is
hmm
great. I love the
Yeah.
one about not keeping a diary of food. I mean, I
Oh
think for
yeah.
some people that works great, but
Yep.
I just, for myself, I kind of agree with you that I try to write it down. I was like, how many olives were in that salad? I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's more the general eating healthy plant that works for me. Other people, that may work for them, but I know for years I've interviewed nutritionists and dietitians that all say keep a log of your food. And I kind of agree with you there. I've tried to do it and I last for 2 days,
Yeah.
3 days,
Yeah.
and I just kind of lose it a little bit. So
Yeah.
the
You're
way, like you said, the way that I've always been able to just tighten it up, get in a little bit better shape, drop a few pounds here and there, is getting my mindset on it and feeling like I've already achieved it. And that's going to get you there a lot, or feel like the feeling, what's that going to feel like when you do get there? Just
right.
kind of, you're right. It's not just losing weight. It's how you feel when you lose the weight and what that means to you. And they're setting
Yeah.
your why. You hear that a lot, setting your
Yeah.
why. Why do you want to do it? So lots of great tips, Nicole. Thank you so much again. What is your website?
ShapeItUpFitness.com.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you again soon,
Yeah.
live and
Thank
in
you for
person.
having me. Yeah, that'd be
It's my
great.
pleasure. And thank you for being with me today for Living Well with Robin Stoloff. Please subscribe and I'll keep you updated on my most recent episode. Until next time, please stay safe and keep living well.